the masters have always been kind to me, have always only punished when I deserved it. I know I deserve this," and he's kind of gesturing to the broken pieces of the collar. I am too stupid to know why. I am too weak to understand why the masters have forsaken me." Um, so, it kind of keeps going along that, and from the other earlier mission, and also he will reiterate, he's only seen the masters twice in his life so far. This is the third time he's encountered one. So he doesn't have a lot of direct information from the masters, and the masters basically told them, don't leave the village except for emergencies and to gather tribute. Or, yeah, basically don't leave the village unless it's like burning down or you're getting tribute. And try to keep the master servants safe. That's pretty much all the orders that he's gotten from the masters. And he'll start explaining his life a bit, that he was once one of the collared children, born in the great city of the masters, sent here to teach the people nearby the words of the master and how the words of the masters, and basically will explain Dakshin's life as a politician. Basically, from his perspective, he sees the service to the masters being the greatest cause, and he's done really, really well. That starts talking about some of the other villages that have had visits from the masters that have destroyed the entire village or killed large portions of the village, and they've had those every year. But his village, ever since he's been leading this area, he's only gotten one, and he survived one while he was still a normal villager. So he seems like he has a lot of pride in he's doing well for himself, and sort of having the position that he has, which is part of the reason that this is hitting him so hard, that feels like he's lost everything he's worked for so far.
Yeah, I'm visibly angry, like hearing about those purges, and I'm just those other thing, that mine you were talking about and the problems with it, are those connected to the master's cause or not?
So
he will say, yes, that is where we go and get most of the tribute that the masters like.
Yes, I know about the tribute, but you said about problem being there. What's the problem? And is it... Okay, I know this is going to... But what's the problem?
So he'll say that there are creatures and there are weird magic things that he doesn't understand that are causing some of the people to not be able to go down certain areas. There's certain areas of the mine that are locked off. And those areas are the ones that they have not yet picked clean. And we'll say that is a problem. And then he sort of realizes as he's talking that he kind of goes, but it does not matter anymore. I am, and he kind of looks around, and you see the villagers that are moving around that are still kind of doing whatever they're doing, but the villagers completely ignore all of you guys. All the player characters in Dakshin are basically being treated as if they don't exist.
That's because they're still under command.
And he says, but I am banished. I am no more.
Is there the collar still on the ground? The one that he tried to throw at the Dragonborns?
Yeah, the frozen collar?
Yep. Well, I guess Lexus already grabbed it.
Yep, so grab it. Don't touch the collar, that sort of stuff. Keep it in the bag. So basically, Dakshin's going to say, I was doing really well for myself. There were all these cool things in the mine, and I was doing so well, and then everything is falling apart. And he's sort of sitting there, kind of shaking his head back and forth, and just says, there is nothing I can do until the masters forgive me. Even a second canoe of tribute will not bring anyone back into the master's favor. I am to be banished. I must gather my things and head off into the swamps. If I can make it to the old ruins, then maybe I can find a way for the masters to forgive me. So he starts.
Which way is the old ruins?
So he kind of goes a step away and then looks up over to you and sort of gestures to the north somewhere. He says, I know the way. And starts going around and gathering his things. And you can see like this very sort of dark mood fall over Dakshin. Like he's really, really depressed that he's having to leave the village, and that everyone is walking around him and avoiding him.
Well, I say in common this time. Normally, after hearing that he's feeling proud that his village survived when others did not, I would just left him be and for good riddance. But on another hand, I don't know how about you, Draco, but first chance I get, good shot at this UNT, I'm shoving my greatsword up his ass. And if we help Dakshin, we might actually get, you know, a shot at taking out those masters. You know where they are and whatnot.
Yes, it sounds like his masters are at this ruined temple. But are we mighty enough to defeat them?
So as you guys are standing there talking around, Dakshin sort of shakes his head and says, no masters go to the ruins, but it is their sacred place. Much, kind of sits and thinks about it for a second, scribbles, writing, many writings of the masters there.
And I still say that in common. Clues perhaps, or information regarding them. I say useful stuff to us if we desire to and decide to actually go against them.
I grab the bag with the collar from the axis, walk up to Dakshin, grab him by the chest, and show him the collar. What does he say?
So he looks at the collar, kind of looks like he's looking really, really closely at the collar, kind of examining it all over, looking for any cracks or breaks or anything. And the collar does look pristine. There's no way that you can see to really affix it to someone, but it does look like it is still in one piece. And he kind of looks up at you with kind of wistful eyes and says, "For me? Is this to be my reward for serving you well?"
I grab a rope from my adventurers kit, tie it to the collar, hang it around his neck, tying the other end of the rope around his neck, and say in common, "Serve them well." Pointing at the
bad idea.
Oh well. Pointing at the group.
Well, this is the guy who is. This is HL, right? This is the person who shapeshifted into the Yanti. Is saying this to him. Yeah. Okay.
Let the tests on the collar go first, I think, because we need to find out more about this collar before we go letting someone have it, considering that this Yanti was basically about to forcefully dominate Draco with the collar.
So, if someone takes the collar and puts it towards. By the way, I think I said this last night, but I don't think I was very clear with it. Each of the blessings has a specific symbol or mark associated with it, whatever your rider is, and I posted it on the forums as well. So just at some point decide where you want that mark to be on your body somewhere. It's a single symbol with the ideally although I don't know if anyone knows the language with the word that the mark has or the blessing has. So if you take it and move it close, it doesn't seem to react to the blessing word.
Okay.
That was
Did the blessing.
I could try and check then.
Definitely not me. I'm not good with magic stuff.
Armoring would be the most appropriate.
Draco isn't a magic user. We need to get a magic user to do the blessing. Oh, okay. Tam got it. Or not Tam. Crap, sorry.
Well, 15 makes medium DC.
Alright. Okay. I tell this to the group then. Since I don't understand the language that is on the collar, I guessing it's my best guess would be it's a binding item or something.
Well, makes sense considering how the other villagers are, their behavior. It explains a lot.
Alright, so I continue with what I was gonna do earlier, tying a rope around it, hanging it around Dashin's neck, telling him to serve these people faithfully. And then
You could have checked someone with other languages. What if you can read what's on the collar? Since I cannot, and Gary says it's not in Draconic.
Maybe it's in Dwarven, just like the other thing.
It is not then. Okay.
No, that's it.
Like still, Dakshin, no matter if you have this back or not, I still say it might be good for you and us to go to that ruins and check them out.
Yes, I agree. Dakshin, you should lead us to this holy place. That way we may determine whether it is truly holy or whether it is unholy. And either way, something has to happen. You and your people are in slavery. You may think you are free, but the way that your master was approaching me, he wanted me to be his little bitch, basically. Sorry, I'm really excited. Basically tells him, look, you need to take us to this place. They were using you, but if you are faithful to us, maybe one of us will create a collar for you, for us. So that way you don't have to serve them. You would make a very good retainer. You could fetch items, you could regain things. There are many ways you could serve us instead of them. And we have actually helped you. Yes, originally it was for pay, but now we're helping you just because we don't like seeing what happened to you. And yes, that's weird for me to say because I'm kind of chaotic, but hey, everyone deserves their independence.
Well, I would still want my fair share. I mean, still.
There might be some, whatever. I'm not. The loot is not really important right now. Yeah. Yeah. You heard, Dakshin, what your master said, and for the future reference, remember there's a difference between serving and being a slave. You can still serve and not be a slave.
Agreed,
What
brother.
he said.
Well said.
You goody two shoes. Velis is now back as a flaming chicken.
Oh, fire.
Hilarious.
Alright, you goody two shoes. We can't decide their lives for them. They decide how they want to live. You can't force your own thoughts and
Okay.
process on everyone.
I'm not forcing anything, so don't put words in my mouth, thief, or tiefling, or
So says the one that was just sitting there while everyone was gonna get slaughtered.
My fellows, we must not argue amongst ourselves. If we do not follow him, we cannot find the way on our own. Let us use him as a guide so we may get there quicker.
Yeah,
Hey,
sure. I'm with
Draco.
Draco.
I follow the action.
Draco, stop him. We don't want to walk into the forest at night, remember?
But why?
Because nighttime is bad. There's a lot of those insects at night. And monsters.
What insects? Monsters are everywhere, but
The big insect they said that eat
Big.
meat or something.
oh. Okay.
Yeah. But
then
T-Rexes
I'm
are in
here.
the morning. Remember that. T-Rexes are
Yes,
in the
but the
morning.
T-Rex was one of the guardians of the temple, but it was only a guardian as long as that evil whatever was there. Since that evil has been dispelled and the deity appeared to us, I believe that the T-Rex would not attack us naturally. Only
I
it
thought
will
there were
do
normal
so if it was
T-Rexes.
ordered to. Hopefully, sorry.
I thought there were normal T-Rexes like animals.
Normal T-Rex.
I don't really look at the rest of the party. If I cannot, if I try to talk, like ask one simple question, could you perhaps wait for the day? If he answers not because he's banished, then I will follow him.
Well, tell him that his masters told him to follow us and to serve us.
Draco would quickly relay the information.
That's point, true.
It would okay. It would be smarter then to wait till dawn.
So instead I say, perhaps with help of Draco, Dakshin, remember what your master told you. Now you serve our group, so we won't be following you. You will lead us, and if we decide that we go during the day, we shall go during the day. Is that understood?
Yes, let's go during the day because Lexus needs to heal up as well.
Well, what he said.
Yeah, I have healing surges. I don't need to heal.
Well,
The question then becomes, he's basically saying don't stay in the village, but if you guys want to stay in the village, everyone seems to be completely ignoring you, so...
Well, they might attack us for some reason then, since we are
What happened?
quote-unquote banished.
well, I'm gonna stay stealth and hidden and just observe the village while the rest of you guys rest up outside.
I
or
mean,
whatnot.
I'm cool with camping just outside of the village,
Yeah, sure,
and,
why
and
not?
wait for the morning.
So, camping just outside the village, nothing, deadly or crazy happens. The villagers don't have any kind of reaction to you. They don't seem to be treating you negatively. They just basically treat you as if you don't exist, and go about what they're doing. So, night passes and the day dawns. Dakshin did not look like he slept very well, because he kind of slept on the ground, just sort of sitting out next to the village. Everyone gets up in the morning, and Dakshin kind of starts to head his way towards the forest, towards the jungle.
Yeah, when we give him like sign, we are ready to follow you, then lead us to the temple.
Yeah, sure, let's go.
All right. So I will need, once we get to this other page, I will need a marching order from you guys. So you head off into the jungle, straight to the north, and it goes up onto a ridge, and then a couple hours later, it goes down into a spot between the two ridge lines, where there is a lot of this very strong smell of standing water. That's sort of stagnant water smell. A little bit of that sort of awkward twinge that's filled in the air. There's a little bit of salt, like this is brackish water that's in this marshland. And as you guys get closer, you can see there is this very low-lying mist surrounding everything, and this kind of cloying little pockets of blackness.
Oops.
Sorry,
I didn't realize the mic was
God
on.
damn
Sorry,
it.
guys.
These little cloying bits of blackness attached to the trees. When you guys are going into this area, you can see that the marshland has very dark, kind of oily-looking water. And there are these massive trees that are just enormous. Some of them are 20 feet in diameter, with a trunk that's 20 feet in diameter, kind of all around the marshlands. And the ones that are sitting in this kind of blackish, the oil-covered water, are bone white, with only a few of them that look separate from the others, that look still like they're healthy and normal. Dakshin kind of goes along, and then he looks like he's kind of picking his way through and kind of gestures for you all to follow him. You see there is one of the trees that had been growing outside of the water that has fallen over, and seems to go the entire length across this low-lying, kind of broad, marshy river area. So you guys will all be starting on the tree. You guys have anything else you guys want to do, like checks or whatnot on the trees or whatnot? Because I know I just sort of glossed over the description real quick. Or if you have more things to ask Dakshin on the travel, go ahead and do that first, and then we will go from there.
Ask him what should we be worried about in the marsh or from here to the ruins. Anything dangerous? Anything that we should know about?
Information quickly related to doctrine.
So he basically explains that the marshlands are they were some of the safest places on the island. They would go there and be able to gather many things for the masters. Much of the old source of their herbs was here in these marshlands, but the dark clouds have started to fill the place. The waters have become undrinkable, and all of the creatures around here have started to be filled with this kind of cloying darkness. He gestures up towards the trees that are bone white. If you guys look in the bottom left-hand corner, it gets you an image of what the trees look like. So some of the ones are still the correct color, but a lot of them are just shafts of bone white. And says, not even the rangers know what is wrong with those, but we fear that their life has been taken, and they are just withering away like old bones.
Do they have any idea what's the source of this madness?
So he gestures towards a couple of those little the black clouds he's talking about that are sort of clinging to things. They look like just big clumps of wool. None of them are bigger than like 2 feet across and like maybe a foot deep. So none of them are very big, but there's lots of them sort of clustered in places like between trees and kind of underneath the limbs and branches, kind of where you would see maybe spiders' nests or things like that. There are these little clumps of blackness. And then the water itself, where it's quick moving, you can see that there is normal looking water underneath, but there's a thick layer of some sort of oil or like tar on top of it that's completely inky black. For those of you guys who remember the sign seeing the temple yesterday, it looks the same as what you saw at the temple.
I pick up some rocks or branches and toss them towards the water and the clouds if I'm in range of them.
So chucking things in like taking a rock and throwing it into the cloud, it just vanishes. It doesn't fall out the other side. It doesn't make any noise when it goes into the cloud either. It just disappears. Taking a stick or something or kind of poking around in the whatever's on top of the water, when you pull it back out, it coats whatever you put it in this really thick, sort of nasty fluid that has a very harsh smell to it.
Is it possible for Draco to fill one of his vials without it touching his hand?
Yeah, if you want to give me like an easy DC thievery check.
You want me to do it for you?
Yes, please do. I have thievery like 0 or -1.
Alright, how many vials do you
Draco
want?
would hand him one of his 2 available vials. Would you please fill this for me? That way when we get back, I may fill this, please, so that I may hire someone to find out what this is. Would you guys want the Dragonborn to lead, or what do you guys want?
I definitely do not allow Dakshin to be at the front alone, so in case something pops up at the front, I'll be immediately ready to protect him and take this danger out.
Actually, before we go any further, I would like to do a quick check by poking something in the water and then trying to actually light the thing. Does that work?
You gotta take a stick, poke it around in the water a little bit, and then
poke it out and then light it.
So it lights up, and it burns relatively quickly, and the smoke that comes off of it is very noxious. Like, it almost makes you sick to your stomach being close to it with the fumes coming off of this thing as it burns dark and has lots of black smoke coming out of it.
Maybe no one should use fire.
I say, fellows, this might be useful. Mayhap I may throw this vial on an enemy and we may light him up. May not work for much, but it'll do something.
That
what if it lights up all the other stuff and everything?
We should possibly avoid stepping into it because it is
I'm gonna pull out a
extremely
sun rod.
flammable, as it seems.
I'm gonna pull out my sun rod, light it, and then toss it into the cloud.
Toss it in one of the clouds?
Yep.
You take the sun rod, it has this huge, brilliant light source, and you chuck it up into one of the clouds, and it just vanishes. Like as soon as it goes into the cloud, the light immediately winks out.
Avoid the clouds then.
I wanna wait. Is it dark?
So it is not that dark. I mean, you guys are underneath the canopy of the big forest, so it's brighter than dim light, but it's not bright sunny day because all the light has to filter through the canopy. But those little patches of the little clouds of blackness that are up in the trees a little bit, those are perfectly dark. So when you chucked in one of the little orbs or one of the sun rods, it just vanished into the darkness.
Yeah, basically I'm definitely up front, so just tell us. I'm no good with insight or perception, so I can be up front, but as a meat shield. If anybody else wants to be scout, then be my guess.
Alright. I'll stick next to the meat shield.
So as you guys are going along, and what I'm looking for.
Yeah, we are probably making something akin to conga line of death.
Hey,
So as you guys kind of start making your way across the way, I'm gonna advance you guys a little bit forward real quick.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's the formation we are pushing, I guess.
So as you get to about there, Lyaxis can notice that there is something kind of off, and I'm gonna type something to you, Lyaxis, and you can translate it to the party as much as you will.
But why didn't he heal then?
Yeah.
Maybe he forgot to change because you just heal on the new day or something?
Yes. Go ahead and make sure that you guys are full health, full surges, have all of your abilities, that sort of stuff. You guys took an extended rest, so you're at full.
As nicely, and maybe I will.
You guys are walking along. Dakshin looks like he's kind of swinging back and forth between being very upset about everything that's gone down here, but also seems happier about the fact that he seems like he's doing something about it. Going along and explaining what this place used to look like and that sort of stuff as he's walking along. So as you guys continue to advance a little bit.
Stupid, but best.
Okay, so Lyaxis says that to us, that something is up ahead, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so obviously I just have my sword drawn, and I'm just waiting if something pops out. I'm preparing myself for combat.
Just in case it needs to be said, I will arm weapons and armor just in case.
Yeah. All right. So as you guys are walking forward, you see a rat that looks it's very, very big. It's about 3 feet long, but it also looks like it should have quite a bit of bulk, but it's very kind of gangly looking. It's got these very wiry looking limbs, has these little things where its bones are pressing right up against the skin, like it is emaciated and hungry. And it comes out of the water kind of dripping with its fur clogged up with all of that oil and shakes itself. It turns to look to you with little black oil-covered eyes and blinks several times and kind of chitters.
Ugh. Proof of the disease and whatnot.
Should we put it out of its misery or let it live, as there's a chance that it's a spy or an advanced scout? What shall we do?
Lexus can make a nature check, right? See what's wrong with it.
Sure.
Hey, Lexus, you're up.
Nature check, you said.
Yeah, nature check, and for what you just said to me, give me a perception check as well.
Nature and perception. What shall I do first? Let's go nature first. No, nice.
Oh,
So, natural one is not an automatic failure on a skill check, so you still did just get easy, I think. Didn't quite make medium.
Medium is
Yeah.
15.
Maybe, so you still did make medium on a 1. You can tell there's nothing. Doesn't look like there's anything magically wrong with the creature. It just looks like it's emaciated and starving. You also know that creatures that are like this tend to be much more skittish and will attack things they would not normally attack because they are starving to death. Okay, so your perception check to be able to see something in the water. I'm going to ping the map because that was an awesome check. This, whoa, that did not work like I wanted to. Can you guys see the ping on the map?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's something quite large moving through the water right there. You get glimpses of a single row of eyes pull itself up next to the water, and you see the inky oil on top of it separate just slightly as a single row of 3 eyes looks through the water up at you and then sinks back down below. There's a couple little waves out to the side, like there are tentacles moving just below the surface.
Maybe someone light the lake on fire since it's all oily?
That's not gonna be a good idea.
Well,
Okay, sorry.
I also made a fume when it burned.
I want to feed the rat.
I don't want to be in the middle of a fire.
Yeah, I'm kinda imagine if either me or Draco use breath weapon attack, then we might.
well, you don't have to use breath. I could just set it alight as far as I can, so it wouldn't get near us for some time.
Didn't it light instantly when you put fire to the stick?
To the stick, yes. It would possibly take some time for the whole lake thing to light on fire. I'm guessing.
Yeah, but it also said that it made some smoke that came out of it.
Oh, it was disgusting. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh god. Oh god.
So yeah, kind of put down the food, and the creature sort of looks around for a second. It sees the food and starts to scurry up towards you all. Looks like it's heading towards Velas.
Wait, what did Velas do?
Velas put down food, and the creature's kind of scurrying up towards you. You guys do anything?
What food? The rations?
Yeah, he put down some rations for the rat, and the rat is now scurrying up towards it.
Oh my god, more rats. We're gonna have so much rats in the guild.
So he comes, kind of looks at you very warily, nibbles a little bit at the thing, and then looks around and makes this weird like chittering sound. And when it, I don't know if you guys have ever heard a rat make noise, kind of goes. Ch-ch-ch-ch-ch-ch. When it makes that noise, you feel like you hear that noise inside of your head as well. Like it's making that noise, but it's also sending out like a psionic message as other, that chittering sound gets repeated not only to your ears but inside your head.
Kill it.
Oh my god, a psychic rat.
It doesn't seem to be attacking us yet.
They could be calling his friends.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the
check.
yet.
Do you have more food to give to his pals? Because I don't think so.
So,
Well, there's more of
got
us.
We are
so-
food.
so
We
there's
got a 10-day supply of food.
Several rats start to climb out of the water onto the edges of those little branches and start skittering along, heading towards you.
This could be bad, but it could be good as long as we keep our cool.
Laxis, you know animals. What do you say we do?
I like animals.
I say we leave some food for them and just forward. And they might be interested in the food more than they are in us, as long as we stay
Alright, how about it?
uninterested in them.
We all got a 10-day supply of food in with us?
Things 20. Gary, I want to do a nature check. See what kind of rat this is.
Okay.
Yeah, saying that this one does not attack, I will definitely move up to my speed.
Yep. Move up to your speed to where you would
Yeah.
like to be.
My nature is 4.
No.
13, does that tell me anything?
They look like some kind of just big swamp rats. Like, they don't look special or magical in any way. They just look like they're starving.
They're natural? Are they natural?
Yeah, it looks like a natural creature. They're just covered in oil and a little awkward.
Okay.
All right. Does everyone move that wanted to move?
I didn't move yet. Okay, I moved now.
Okay. So you kind of move forward and sitting there and, going along as you go. And Lyaxis kind of feels something strange, something kind of wash over him as this powerful impulse to move, to act, like this extreme amount of like nervous energy comes up. That color is very.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a different color from Aka's thing.
Well, I could change it then.
That works well. That lighter color works well. So the little vermin move up, going kind of towards you guys as looks like they're heading towards the food. When you move along Lyaxis, you get this very strong impulse to attack something.
Fight it. Fight it.
1 second. I can get this thing to appropriately show. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. So, yeah.
What do I see that I could attack? Anything moving other than the 2 vermin?
So, Lyaxis, that's what you're being targeted by.
Crap.
So you get the impulse that you should attack Nahazar or Dit, and if you do not, you will take some damage.
You can attack me, it's fine.
And again, since you made that excellent check before, you can see that there is something in the water, like just to the side of the thing, like here.